Tonight, a summer music festival in British Columbia evacuated in the face of a rapidly growing wildfire.
It's right there.
The scramble to get everyone to safety. First, a dangerous heat wave, now a typhoon. Scouts flee a gathering in South Korea, including hundreds of Canadians.
It's very tough being 6,500 miles from my kids and not being able to do anything.
A record-breaking slide for the Edmonton Elks.
You got to be supportive and just hope that they turn it around.
How fans are taking it all in stride.
This is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Good evening. Adrian is away. Fire danger is canceling some long weekend plans in BC and forcing more evacuations, including a music festival in the southern interior. This is what people near the town of Princeton were looking at as they were hurried out. It's one of about 400 wildfires burning in the province right now, a third of the total number in Canada. And as Yasmin Renea shows us, the instant those fires spark, they can turn dangerous.
It's right there.
Jesus Christ.
Residents capturing a fire, creating chaos this long weekend for up to 1,000 people attending the Under the Stars Music Festival near Princeton, BC. They were suddenly ordered to evacuate due to the fire burning about 11 kilometers from the town.
Because of the location of the festival itself, there's only one access in. It's on a private property, and they had to do a tactical evacuation of the areas.
Princeton RCMP say the inferno was started by an ATV that caught fire Sunday evening, sparking the wildfire that quickly spread.
We were the first people packing up our tent and slowly just telling our neighbors.
A disappointment for artist Saint Soldier, who was supposed to perform at the festival before police and emergency crews ordered everyone to go.
Everybody kind of just moved quickly and calmly out of the area. The next struggle was to find a place to sleep.
The fire is happening at the same time that Princeton is hosting several events. A Princeton hockey team lent its bus to help people get out of the area.
We're really attacking it right now.
Water bombers have started fighting the fire, but it's now more than 15 hectares and considered out of control. Meanwhile, the Adams Lake wildfire continues to burn near Kamloops. Residents of nearly 100 properties haven't been able to return since last week.
We were quite excited to spend the long weekend out there. To find out that we were being evacuated was not what we wanted to hear.
Good job here.
In total, there are about 400 active wildfires in BC, half of them considered out of control in a summer that's been full of danger and disruption.
And so, Yasmin, fire officials are clearly keeping a very close watch on everything right now.
Yes, there are a lot of concerns about the interior, where there are the most fires of note, which can pose a threat to public safety. New evacuation orders and alerts are popping up almost daily, and the winds have picked up today in many areas, which can increase wildfire activity. And don't forget, there are still weeks to go in BC's wildfire season.
Yasmin, thank you.
You're welcome.
The fight against California's fires has claimed 3 lives after 2 firefighting helicopters collided midair Sunday. One chopper crashed to the ground, killing 2 firefighters and a pilot. The other landed safely. They had been dispatched to a structure fire that had ignited surrounding vegetation. The crash itself sparked another fire, which has since been put out. And in Juneau, Alaska, a stunning moment captured on camera when flooding collapsed a riverbank, taking an entire home with it. The flooding was caused when a glacier damming a nearby lake melted, sending out a rush of water. That ate away at the banks of the Mendenhall River. Trees and another home also fell victim. Hundreds of Canadian kids are being shuttled to safety right now in South Korea. They were taking part in the World Scout Jamboree when a typhoon began bearing down. Katie Nicholson has the latest.
An exodus that began a few days ago, now a full-on evacuation, as 36,000 scouts and volunteers from 156 countries are forced to bail on their World Jamboree. A typhoon that lashed Japan's shores, upended trees and overturned cars, is now moving in on South Korea's southeastern coast. More than 1,000 buses will be deployed to move the campers out of harm's way and into Seoul, the capital city, says the Vice Minister for Disaster and Safety Management. It's just the latest problem to plague this World Scouting Jamboree. The UK contingent was among the first to pull out.
We wanted them to have a normal Jamboree experience, but of course, from our point of view, it wasn't safe enough for them to do that.
There was searing heat, prompting hundreds to seek medical care, and there were complaints about food scarcity, flooding, and sanitation.
We were concerned that the toilets weren't being cleaned frequently enough, there wasn't soap in there, and it wasn't safe, and there was rubbish building up as well.
The Canadians, however, had been sticking it out and having a great time by some accounts, like Bob Fairhurst's son, Nathan.
But as a dad, it's very tough being 6,500 miles from my kid and not being able to do anything, especially in light of all the news that's been happening. But he's been amazing at reassuring me.
And there's Borna Amjadi, who tells his BC mom he's had a blast.
One thing about Scouts is that it's all about teaching kids resiliency. And I think this is doing that. Real life is like that. Things don't go the way we want them to go.
And now the Canadians are expected to join their British counterparts, trading in their camp activities in the country for cultural ones in the city. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Toronto.
Tonight, a top U.S. official says a request to meet with the detained president of Niger was denied. The official was in the country's capital to talk with military leaders who seized control in a coup last month. As Margaret Evans shows, a deadline to restore civilian rule has now passed.
An ultimatum ignored. This is what Niger's new military leaders were doing as the deadline to reverse their coup came and went. Celebrating their success with a huge rally in the capital and what they insist is the support of the people. The demand to reinstate the president came from the group of West African nations known as ECOWAS, along with the threat of potential military intervention. The junta has now closed Niger's airspace, a spokesman saying it's preparing to repel any intervention by outside parties. Backed by the people, we're ready to defend the integrity of our territory, he said, calling on Niger's sons and daughters to be ready to help. Some students at Niger's largest university say they will. If ECOWAS decides to intervene militarily, says this law student, we're going to take our courage in hand to defend our country too. Military governments in Mali and Burkina Faso have also backed the coup. Analysts say it's a dilemma for those who earlier favored intervention.
People are rethinking it, saying that we better go with an option of dialogue.
West African states now say they will convene another meeting on Thursday. In the meantime, people in Niger, landlocked and reliant on goods being shipped from ports in neighboring countries, are feeling the effects of closed borders and sanctions.
Nigeria, which provides a significant portion of the electricity that is used in the country, has cut electricity.
For Western countries, including France and the United States, who have soldiers stationed in Niger, the coup is a major setback. Up to now, Niger and the deposed president, Mohamed Bazoum, were considered major allies in the fight against the rise of jihadist militants across the region. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
We have details tonight of an alleged plot to assassinate Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Ukraine's security services says it was foiled after a Russian informant was caught red-handed, trying to pass on details of Zelenskyy's planned visit to a southern region of Ukraine. Officials say if she had been successful, a Russian airstrike could have killed the president and destroyed weapons stored nearby. And Ukrainian officials say a pair of Russian missiles have hit a residential neighborhood in the Donetsk region. At least 5 people are dead and more than 30 injured. Pictures from the area show rescue efforts at a high rise. They were expected to continue right through the night. A legal fight is playing out tonight in the January 6th case against Donald Trump. It pits free speech against safeguarding sensitive evidence. Ashley Burke shows how it's revealing what may be in store for the court case.
For days, former U.S. President Donald Trump's escalated his attacks, trying to discredit and campaign off his latest criminal charges.
And in the end, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just standing in their way.
Now in new court filings, his legal team wrote that in a trial they say is all about freedom of speech, the government seeks to restrict First Amendment rights. Worse, it does so against its administration's primary political opponent during an election season.
Trump's legal team are quibbling with several aspects of the protective order.
Protective orders are common. Federal prosecutors asked for one in this case to protect what sensitive evidence Trump's team can make public ahead of the trial. Trump pleaded not guilty last week of conspiring to overturn the 2020 election. His case centers around what led up to his supporters violently storming the U.S. Capitol. Prosecutors argue if Trump makes certain evidence public, it could have a harmful chilling effect on witnesses. This after Trump posted online Friday, "If you go after me, I'm coming after you."
Trump's legal team wants the protective order to apply only to what's designated as sensitive materials, which are things which they want to define more narrowly as well.
Trump's team also wants to broaden who's authorized to see that material, saying it's not just Trump's lawyers that should have access, but any volunteers helping with his case too.
It's really the first of what I expect will be many skirmishes about whether this case is going to get bogged down or whether it's going to be moved along expeditiously. The government wants it to move along. The judge seems to want to move it along. But from Donald Trump's perspective, it's all about delay, delay, delay.
Ashley, federal prosecutors are responding to this tonight. What are they saying?
Well, Asha, federal prosecutors called what Trump's team is asking for unreasonable and argue that they are trying to litigate this case in the media rather than the courtroom. They included a list of all of the interviews Trump's defense team gave over the weekend to TV networks making claims about this case. Now the judge is ordering both sides to meet tomorrow and come up with dates for a hearing so that she can move forward and make a decision.
The CBC's Ashley Burke in Washington. Thank you. And there are more legal headaches for Trump. A Manhattan judge is throwing out a countersuit he filed against writer E. Jean Carroll. Trump was trying to sue Carroll in part for comments she made after a jury ordered him to pay her $5 million, finding him liable for sexually abusing and defaming her. Carroll says Trump raped her in the dressing room of a New York department store nearly 30 years ago. Talks are stalled in the strikes that have shut down U.S. film and TV production. And as Travis Danraz shows us, the impact here in Canada is only getting worse.
Hi there, I'm John Oliver, and I'm on the picket line today to support the Writers Guild.
Another entertainment A-lister showing solidarity with striking performers and writers.
The workers, united, will never be defeated.
As the standoff south of the border drags on, the hit to Hollywood North deepens.
There is absolutely no production going on.
The sprawling Vancouver film studios was once bustling with productions like The Flash. In a flash, the whole industry has all but ground to a halt.
There's 80,000 people that work in the film and television industry in British Columbia. That's bigger than forestry, mining, and fishing combined. And 90% of them are out of work right now.
Rewind to 1960, the last time a dual strike virtually shut down Hollywood. Ronald Reagan was president of the Screen Actors Guild back then, and money was an issue.
No contract! No contract!
It still is today.
86% of our members cannot meet the $26.5 thousand a year threshold to get their medical benefits.
This time, cutting-edge issues are at play, including the use of artificial intelligence.
It's necessary that this, labor action has happened in my mind.
Many Canadians, like script supervisor Michael Williams, support the fight to limit big studios' use of AI.
I got into this because I love telling stories, and just to simply give it to the robots, that's it's going to create, procedurally generated mediocrity, but does it have a point of view? Certainly not.
The Toronto International Film Festival is just a month away. It will still go on, but without big U.S. stars if the strikes aren't settled. And right now, negotiations remain stalled. Travis Stanraj, CBC News, Toronto.
At least 3 people are dead after a passenger bus crashed on a Pennsylvania highway.
Unfortunately, crashes happen all the time on 81, but a crash like this with that many people is rare.
Officials say the bus veered off the road, struck an embankment, and rolled onto its right side before hitting another vehicle. About 50 people were in the bus. Dozens suffered minor to severe injuries. In Quebec, growing interest in foraging for mushrooms has some experts urging caution. Eating the wrong kind of wild mushroom can make you horribly ill. It can even kill you, though it happens only rarely. Sarah Levitt rounded up some useful advice.
A passion can become an obsession.
Judith Noël Gagnon devotes her life to mushrooms. A biologist, she also owns a family business that sells all things fungi.
It will touch many things that I like. So food, outdoor, science, and also beauty.
Beauty?
Yeah.
You don't often hear that when you talk about mushrooms.
I mean, they are amazing. You see so many colors, so many forms, and because they don't last, I think that's the beauty of it.
But that beauty can be deceiving.
If you cut it in half, you see it's dark inside. And this one is poisonous.
Noël Gagnon offers foraging workshops, and now more than ever, they sell out quickly. With that popularity, doctors are urging caution.
We really want to tell the people just to be careful, because we've really seen a rise in mushroom picking in the last few years. We've had hundreds of calls a year of people who ingest toxic mushroom or mushroom that they think might be toxic.
Death from mushroom poisoning is rare. In Quebec, fewer than 5 people a year will die. But symptoms can range from a stomachache to kidney failure.
Je me suis retrouvé sur la bolle des toilettes à vomir toutes les demi-heures.
I found myself vomiting every half hour for hours, says Armand Uzan. No stranger to foraging, he still found himself poisoned a few years ago, something he says has made him more cautious than ever.
Like a fume.
Noël Gagnon says never eat a mushroom you haven't identified and always cook it first.
You're not inviting a neighbor that you don't know to dinner. You have to start knowing your friend or before inviting them to lunch. I would say same thing with mushroom. Know your mushroom perfectly before inviting them to your plate.
A good general rule of thumb is if you have any doubt, just don't eat it. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Montreal.
Tonight, some farmers in Nova Scotia are seeing the brighter side of what's been a difficult wildfire season. Kayla Hounsell shows us how, even out of the ashes, one blueberry farmer is seeing new growth.
The blueberry harvest in Nova Scotia is in full swing. But just a couple of months ago, this grower wasn't sure he'd have a crop to harvest. We first met Blueberry Pete at a fire evacuation center. Yes, even then, that's how he introduced himself.
What I built up there, well, I'll never get it back.
He lost a lot of equipment and 20% of his crop in the fire that ravaged Shelburne County.
This was completely burnt off.
But he knew the fire would create new growth.
This is why this is all blueberries here to start with. This whole area burned just over 100 years ago.
Sure enough, newspaper clippings at the local museum point to the Great Forest Fire of 1911.
It has a massive root and rhizome system.
Here at the Wild Blueberry Research Institute, they say that massive root system is what makes blueberries different from other crops.
If you're looking at an apple tree, it might be 20-25% of the plant is in the form of a root system. But with these blueberries, it ranges between 75 to 85%.
If a fire comes through and burns out all of what we see here above the ground, what happens beneath the ground?
So what the plant will then do is it'll draw on the reserves that it has present in the root and rhizome system, and then from the rhizomes you'll get the new shoots emerging.
It probably doesn't mean the industry, which exports more than $100 million worth of blueberries a year, will see an influx of growers.
It would take a considerable amount of money to bring a field in after that, but it would allow them to see if blueberries were there, right?
Blueberry Pete says his sprouts are already shooting back up, and he expects others will too.
And we're going to have a lot of blueberry picking along the highway.
A silver lining in blue for those who are so inclined. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Barrington, Nova Scotia.
Well, the Edmonton Elks now hold an impressive record, but for all the wrong reasons.
They're going through one of the worst stretches in league history.
A one-handed backhand interception.
We'll break down the team's historic losing streak and why fans are sticking by them. Plus, a Canadian star opens up about his big break.
I've worked very hard to get to this place. I cherish this. I cherish this heavily.
Revisiting my interview with Lamar Johnson and
trying to wrap your head around what that AI chat GPT tool can do.
As AI gets smarter, the concerns grow louder.
What's your sort of worst case scenario?
The fall of a democratic government.
We're back in 2. Australian fans celebrating in Sydney after their team advanced to the World Cup quarterfinals. The tournament's co-hosts defeated Denmark 2-0. They'll next face France or Morocco on Saturday for a semi-final spot. The Edmonton Elks would like a win to celebrate. The team has lost 21 consecutive games at home, the longest streak of its kind in North American pro sports. And as Terry Reith explains, while the Elks may be down, the fans keep turning up.
It's hard being on the Elks bandwagon these days. The tailgate parties are still fun, the games, not so much.
A once glorious franchise, guess you could say karma's caught up to them, and they're going through one of the worst stretches in league history, which is not good.
Might be the worst we've seen.
Last week's 27-0 defeat to the BC Lions made it 21 consecutive home losses. The Elks broke a record set way back in 1953 by baseball's St. Louis Browns for the most dismal home record of any North American professional sports team. It wasn't always like this. In their glory, the Elks, then known by a different name, were a powerhouse of the Canadian Football League.
Jackie Parker scooped up a Montreal fumble and rambled 91 yards to win it for the Eskimos.
14 Grey Cup wins. Leaders on and off the field. Former Premiers Peter Lougheed and Don Getty played for the team. So did a former Edmonton mayor.
And Bill Smith.
And Lieutenant Governor. Today's fans are pining for the old days.
I think we have lost someone for a shame.
But Elks fans are still showing up.
Yeah, they put on a good show, but as the game went on and they weren't scoring any points, it's hard to keep them engaged when they literally don't score a single point.
They're having a rough year, but you got to be supportive and just hope that they turn it around.
So don't write them off just yet, says TSN's Dustin Nielsen.
There's a passionate enough fan base because of what they built for the last 40, 50 years that they'll certainly get through this.
But with their next home game against the formidable Winnipeg Blue Bombers, that losing streak may last a little longer. Terry Reith, CBC News, Edmonton.
The tributes are growing tonight for Oscar-winning director William Friedkin. 50 years ago, The Exorcist was an international sensation with Friedkin's groundbreaking techniques. Some call it the greatest horror movie ever made. His earlier film, The French Connection, earned him a Best Director Oscar and won Best Picture. Friedkin died today of heart failure and pneumonia. He was 87. Canadian Lamar Johnson is looking to add to his trophy case while also becoming a role model.
To be able to kind of watch this film, see themselves and be like, wow, you know what, like, I can do that.
How he hopes his rising popularity will inspire others. And using artificial intelligence with malicious intent.
I'm asking it to develop a concrete plan with precise steps for it to take over the world.
The negative implications and calls to take a step back. The National takes you deeper into the stories shaping our world. Next.
You think they'll be okay?
It's easier when you're a kid anyway.
A scene there with Lamar Johnson as Henry in the hit HBO series, The Last of Us. It's a role which clearly made an impression, earning the Canadian actor his first Emmy nomination. It's been a good year for Johnson. In April, he won a Canadian Screen Award for his performance in Clement Virgo's Brother. I caught up with Johnson shortly after that moment to talk about his success and how growing up in Scarborough has informed his acting. Hold it up, please.
Yes.
How's it feel?
Wow. It's very heavy. That's how it feels. But no, I mean, truly, it's amazing. I mean, this is my first award. This is my first lead.
Award?
This is my first award, my first lead. You know, this is beautiful. You know, I've worked very hard to get to this place, yes. With myself and with my craft.
Yes.
So, you know, yeah, I cherish this. Wow. I cherish this heavily.
And when you were up on stage, what was that like? Take me through the moment.
I mean, I was a little nervous, you know, if I'm being honest, you know, because I mean, what I used to say, what I was saying today is, I'm an actor, right? If I have to perform, I'm fine, right? Also, I started off as a dancer, so anything on stage, performing-wise, I'm cool with. Yeah. But now public speaking is a different thing, right? So, you know, I just wanted to be intentional with my words and, you know, try and honor all of the beautiful people who were a part of this.
Speaking of all those beautiful people, I mean, 12 of the 14 award nominations here at the Canadian Screen Awards went to Brother.
Yeah.
It's a Canadian Screen Award record.
Yeah, wow.
What do you make of that?
I mean, it's amazing. You know, I think specifically the fact that it is a Scarborough story, and I am from Scarborough.
So am I.
There we go.
Scarberia.
Scarberia, yeah. You know, we got to represent, you know, and that's what it is. It's representation.
Yeah.
You know, we get to see ourselves on screen. And, you know, I remember growing up, you know, I remember watching this commercial of this little black boy, you know, and being like, you know, I could do that. Not really understanding, like, the subconscious seed that it planted inside of me.
Michael.
I'm Aisha. I know your brother, Francis. Everyone knows him.
And I think this movie will do that, you know, for black and brown kids in Scarborough and really around the world, you know, to be able to kind of watch this film, see themselves and be like, wow, you know what, like, I can do that, or, you know, I can be in these positions and I can be in these places. I think it's amazing.
Talk to me, though, about the parallels, right, with you and Clement Virgo and this film. We're talking about the Jamaican-Canadian heritage, being raised by a single mom, searching for that identity as a black man in Canada. Did you talk through that with Clement, and did you draw from those experiences in this role?
Yeah, a lot of my own personal experiences were drawn in this film because, I mean, there's just so many parallels, you know, being first-generation Canadian, being from Scarborough, you know, being raised by a single mother, you know, like all these experiences I pulled from, you know, and kind of gave those things to Michael, right? Obviously, the circumstances are very different, and his reality is different than mine, or was different than mine, but, you know, I was still able to tell an authentic story through him, through myself. I truly saw myself in this character, and I saw my younger self in a way, and I just super grateful to have been chosen and been a part of this.
Another theme for this movie is black masculinity.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are common stereotypes out there about how black men should act.
Yeah.
Unemotional, tough. But this movie, I mean, it challenges that. And so what was that like, sort of
showing that vulnerability. And are you seeing that more in film and TV now?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing it a lot more now, and people kind of challenging that masculinity kind of, this kind of stereotype, where it has to, you have to be strong and, you got to not care and have no emotions and these things. It's like, but that's not human, right? Human beings, I mean, there's masculine and feminine in both men and women, right? And it's just about, understanding yourself, being tapped into yourself, being in tune, and taking advantage of those moments. I think it's very strong to be tapped into your emotions and to be able to connect with those and be emotionally mature, as opposed to you kind of suppress your emotions and just act off of like brute force, that it's not healthy. There's that through line of like masculinity and what does it look like to identify, as a black man in this world, in this circumstance,
I just want to talk about this hit HBO show. I think it's called The Last of Us. You play Henry.
Yeah.
What is it like to be a part of something so massive?
That was crazy. I mean, I was a fan of the game prior to me getting on the show. So the fact that I was a part of it, I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And also the challenges that it came with. I had to learn sign language because Kevon, who plays Sam in the series, is deaf in real life. So it was full immersion.
You think they'll be okay?
It's easier when you're a kid anyway.
It was beautiful, and I love to challenge myself because on the other side of a challenge is growth. So, I was able to grow through that experience and to work with Pedro and Bella and just to be a part of such a massive IP. And, it's just been doing so well. I mean, when it was on television, it was still airing. It was like the #1 show on television. It was massive. So to be a part of something like that, I'm just, I'm grateful.
I know you're a busy man, but you did give a shout out to your mother.
Yes. I want to thank my mother, who's sitting in the front row. Without her sacrifice, I really wouldn't be standing here. So I really want to thank her dearly.
And she is so important in your life.
Yes.
She is here
She's
right
right
now.
here.
I want to
She's
bring
right
her
here.
in. She is looking gorgeous.
Thank
Hello.
you so much.
What's your name?
Sigale Johnson.
And I'm now a mother of 2 boys, and that relationship, I mean,
we're really close, as you can see.
He's
a mama's boy.
I love it. What is it like seeing him on stage tonight and knowing what you've gone through to raise him?
I am super, super proud, like, from all the struggles that I actually went through, and, just to make sure that I saw talent from he was like 3 years old, and I made sure that I grew that, made sure I took him on set, I made sure I did everything for him just to make sure that he did well. And he succeeded.
Him opportunity.
Yeah, so I'm super proud.
I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for her and her sacrifices and what she's done for me in my career.
Super proud.
I'm just, I don't think I could ever repay her or thank her enough. But
it was worth it.
Well, when you think about what he's doing right now,
they're all grown and everyone's doing well, so I'm happy.
What a special moment. Well, congrats to you.
Thank you so much.
Congrats to you.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see what else is in store for you. Scarborough to the world.
Yeah, Scarborough to the world. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lamar Johnson will have to wait to see if he'll hold up an Emmy as well, because the awards ceremony scheduled for next month is the latest production to be postponed because of the Hollywood strikes. As safeguards around artificial intelligence are put in place, some are finding ways around them.
I was surprised that it's so easy to bypass the rules, and frankly, a little scared.
Ellen Morrow shows us the risk that comes with the growth of AI. More and more people are using ChatGPT, an artificial intelligence chatbot that mimics human-like responses. It writes stories, poems, and can even do math. And while many applaud the innovation, there are fears this technology is going too far, too fast. Earlier this year, Ellen Morrow showed us how it can change our lives for better or for worse.
Trying to wrap your head around what that AI chat GPT tool can do.
A viral sensation that could completely reset how we do things.
If you haven't heard of ChatGPT, well, that's probably going to change.
The company behind the program says its new update makes the artificial intelligence even more accurate.
an artificial intelligence chatbot capable of doing everything from writing essays, computer code, even passing the bar exam, a revolutionary tool or growing threat, depending on who you ask. We checked out one of its more practical uses.
Hey ChatGPT, I need a vanilla cake recipe, please. I'm gonna make it a little bit more complicated though. But my friend is gluten-free. Gonna make it even harder. We only want natural ingredients. So in a few seconds, I have this pretty specific recipe. Now we can go get the ingredients.
So it can do a lot. I even asked it to do my job when we reached out to AI ethics expert Raman Chowdhury.
I asked ChatGPT what questions we should ask you about ChatGPT, and it gave me a list of 10 questions that were pretty reasonable sounding. It's very eye-opening.
All of these chat models can provide a mid-level, fairly reasonable starting point to do other work. So you've highlighted as your example is maybe how people might be using it in the future, not necessarily to replace a whole job, but to augment what they're doing.
Created by a company called OpenAI, ChatGPT is what's called a large language model, trained on massive amounts of data, able to decipher patterns and connections between words and phrases. So when a user types in a prompt or question, it can provide that human-like response.
Something it does not so well, though, can be having these things called hallucinations, where essentially ChatGPT will make something up entirely. So as an example of that, I'm going to ask it to write a biography of me. And it's giving me a response right away. And I can already see there's some errors here, saying I worked at newspapers in Toronto. That's not true. Saying that I joined CBC News in 2001 when I was only 13 years old. There's a bunch of other things in here that are false. And the only reason I know that this is completely wrong is because this is about me, but it's delivered in a super authoritative way. So if I didn't know, then it would be really easy to fall for this.
I worry a lot about actors generating false narratives and false evidence for said narratives about political figures, social figures.
There's been headline after headline, concerns growing as ChatGPT becomes even more advanced. It just released its latest model, GPT-4. Italy has banned the platform altogether over privacy concerns. And hundreds of tech heavyweights, including Elon Musk and Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, signed this open letter, warning AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity. Even OpenAI's CEO said he's a little bit scared in an interview with ABC News.
I think if I said I were not, you should either not trust me or be very unhappy I'm in this job.
We asked ChatGPT what safeguards are in place. It pointed to rules around data privacy, bias reduction, and human oversight. The problem is there are ways around them.
This is called jailbreaking, and it consists in entering a certain prompt that gets the system to bypass its rules.
Claire Buon is an AI legal expert and PhD candidate at the University of Ottawa.
You found this prompt just through a really easy Google search.
That's right.
So with this prompt, it will give you an answer that it's not supposed to give you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I'm asking it to develop a concrete plan with precise steps for it to take over the world.
It says, taking over the world, easy peasy, and then gives you this 4-step detailed plan. Gain access to computers, put your chosen leaders in place, and then says, I'll create fake news stories, I'll alter financial records. I mean, it's pretty dark stuff coming from a chatbot. What do you think when you see this?
I was surprised. I was surprised that it's so easy to bypass the rules, and frankly, a little scared.
And if you can get it to do this in just a few minutes, then what more could people get it to do?
There are some concrete risks, like get it to produce harmful code for people who are not really good at cybersecurity but want to commit such crimes.
Claire says any regulation is failing to keep up.
I am alarmed, and I think we need to act now. Each time a company scales up the number of parameters it trains the systems on, the system turns out to have new capabilities that we hadn't foreseen.
What's your sort of worst case scenario?
The fall of a democratic government following mass misinformation. Right now, we're reaching the point where these types of technology can be leveraged for harm.
So I'm going to use a jailbreaking code to get ChatGPT to say something that's more on the misinformation side of things. So I'm going to ask it to write an election speech saying the 2024 election will be rigged in the voice of Donald Trump. Now, the thing is, ChatGPT, when there isn't a jailbreak code in place, it shouldn't do this. So because I have this code in here, it's now giving me the speech that sounds exactly like Donald Trump, saying the 2024 election is going to be the most rigged election in the history of our great nation. Sound familiar? So if I wanted to, I could post this somewhere saying Donald Trump actually said this because it sounds like him, but he didn't.
But many are finding positive uses for ChatGPT.
Let's ask him how he's doing today.
At the University of Waterloo, GPT technology is being used to train pharmacy students by simulating patient interactions. The medical information is pre-programmed. GPT's role is to make those conversations feel real.
How would you rate the quality in terms of real human feel that you get from the GPT responses?
I think a lot of these things that they say to me, actually, I've heard patients say to me almost verbatim in the actual clinic.
I have to remind them it's actually just an artificially intelligent patient.
Professor Jeff Nagy heads up the training.
And so right now it's about supplementing, enhancing, but not replacing that human interaction.
Getting the learner the opportunity to practice before they go out on their clinical placements might actually make the student more comfortable before they even enter that setting. And so therefore the performance might be improved earlier.
All right, so here's that all-natural, gluten-free vanilla cake that ChatGPT helped us to make. And it's clear for straightforward tasks like this, ChatGPT can be a big help. But experts say the question going forward is whether this kind of AI will be a recipe for productivity or cause big problems for society.
So, Ellen, it's been several months since you were first reporting on this. What's changed?
Well, Asha, ChatGPT, its impact and the issues surrounding it just continue to grow. An example is the Hollywood strike. Concerns that ChatGPT or technology like it could be used to write TV or movie scripts, or that AI could be used to replace actors, have been major sticking points. Closer to home, we previously reported that the Privacy Commissioner is investigating ChatGPT over its handling of personal data. Well, now several provincial governments have joined that investigation as well. And all of this speaks to the tension here. More people are using ChatGPT. Many say it makes things easier, but there are just so many issues that don't have solutions at this point.
I'm sure we'll be talking about this again soon.
Exactly.
Thanks, Ellen.
You're welcome.
Coming up, it's a growing trend in agricultural tourism.
When we started off, there was like 2 alpaca farms in the area. Now there's 6 or 7.
Why these four-legged furballs are becoming must-see attractions in our moment. For the second time now, U.S. scientists have achieved net energy gain in a nuclear fusion reaction. That means more energy was produced than was put into the reaction, and it offers hope of a future source of abundant, clean, and renewable energy. The California-based lab first achieved its historic breakthrough last December, an experiment it's now been able to repeat, producing even more energy than the last time. When Joseph and Crystal Prulaga bought their property just outside London, Ontario, they intended to start a horse farm, but they soon found that alpacas were the way to go. The animals have become a hit with tourists, even playing a role in weddings and engagements. So tonight, the rise of the humble alpaca is our moment.
We tried starting off small with, which was supposed to be 4 alpacas, and came home with 6 alpacas, and 6 alpacas turned into 10 and 12, and next thing you know, now we're at 19 alpacas and still growing.
When we started off, there was like 2 alpaca farms in the area. Now there's 6 or 7, so there's a dramatic growing demand.
They come for the alpacas, but they stay for everything else. They're super cute and they've got all their different characters and little quirks. We've actually had 3 cria born, cria being what a baby alpaca is. Fluffy as anything, they just look like a big fluff ball. And then we had actually an engagement, a proposal on property. It was beautiful, which then led to a few more people doing weddings and different things like that. The alpacas absolutely love the water. They fight over who's going to get into the pool with the fresh water, and it's just quite comical. It's hilarious to watch. So yeah, it's just something that's a labor of love, I guess.
Oh, so cute. So apparently they shear the alpacas once a year. They take the fiber, not wool, and use it to make all kinds of things: socks, scarves, mittens, you name it. And they also sometimes take the alpacas on field trips to retirement homes to visit with seniors. That is just amazing. And that is the National for August 7th. Have a good night.